back, Gothamites. If you're new here, hi. I'm London, aka History of the Batman. I wanted to actually film this video about a week ago, but I never really got around to it, especially since last week was the Saturn Awards, which I was happily attending as a presenter for the Best Streaming Superhero Television Series, and I was a guest on the fantasy panel during the Saturn Awards. I also had the amazing talent of Tara Strong, Joshua Ovenshire, and Dan Telfer. And let me tell you, it was so fun being in that very awesome nerdy company. I quickly just want to say thank you to the Saturn Awards and everyone involved for including me in your 45th annual celebration of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. If you want to check out footage of the panel or me announcing the nominees and the winner in the category or any of that, follow me on my social media because I have been posting different behind the scenes things from backstage and the panel itself and me presenting and all of that fun stuff. So definitely check out my social media for all of that content. But anyway, back to this video. Like I said, I wanted to do this video about a week ago and I got sidetracked. However, a recent development happened that made me want to sit down and do this video finally and discuss that director Matt Reeves' 2021 DC Comics film The Batman, which is starring Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne / Batman, is going to adapt the Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale's story Batman The Long Halloween. So for this video, I want to discuss why I and many others, I'm sure, honestly believe that the Batman is going to be centered around The Long Halloween, a little bit about that Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale story, and also other Batman comics that could possibly be adapted based on the information that we know. And I'll be giving a little bit more details about any and everything that we do know as of this moment about the next Batman solo film. But before we talk about the Batman, why don't you subscribe to this channel and become part of this wonderful Gothamite community. So all started with Daniel Richmond, who, if you don't know him, if you don't follow him on Twitter or even his YouTube channel, he is one of the awesome scoopers within the entertainment world that breaks news about dropping trailers and plots for movies and TV shows and all that. He's the first guy to inform everyone, and basically 99% of the time, he's correct. So everyone actually listens to what news he is breaking. And last week, he broke the news about more details about Matt Reeves' solo film, The Batman. According to Daniel Richmond, The Batman will explore a detective case. When people start dying in strange ways, Batman must go deep into the dark world of Gotham to find clues and solve the mystery conspiracy connected to Gotham City's history and criminals. In the film, all of Batman's rogues gallery are already out there and active, similar to the comics and animated shows / movies. The film will have multiple villains as they are all suspects. So added to this new description, the latest Variety cover story is all about Robert Pattinson and him promoting his new movie, The Lighthouse. And when asked about playing Batman and his thoughts and all of those things, started to talk about what the film is actually going to be about, and he said this.
I really like Matt Reeves and his setup for it. I mean, it's an interesting direction. I don't think it's something from the comics which hasn't been really explored yet. You know, it's kind of crazy shoes to fill. I mean, it's interesting what the different directions you can take with it, and that kind of, for in some ways, quite a specific character. There's actually quite a lot of leeway. I mean, when you look at the different tones of all these movies, I mean, and the TV shows, I mean, you can do quite a lot with it.
Now, after hearing from Pattinson himself that this movie is going to be adapted from a comic book series that hasn't really been on the big screen before, and reading what Daniel Richmond said about the new details, the one story that clicked to me was Batman The Long Halloween to be adapted for this story. Now, I'm going to briefly explain The Long Halloween, but if you want a breakdown of the story, because maybe you don't know about it, I did an entire 1-minute bat history on Batman The Long Halloween, which was rather difficult to fit all of those stories into 1 minute, but I did it for you guys. So if you want to check that out, I will put it in the description below as well. If you aren't familiar, Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale's 1996 to 1997 13-issue arc, Batman The Long Halloween, centers around the Batman trying to find out who is the holiday killer, who is a murderer that is killing people on different holidays throughout the year, starting on Halloween and ending on Halloween. And basically in that story, everyone's a suspect. From the family of Gotham crime boss Carmine Falcone, well, the members that are still alive in Carmine Falcone's family, but you know what I mean, do even most of Batman's rogues gallery at one point or another. What makes The Long Halloween such a fantastic Batman story even 2 decades later isn't just Loeb's intricate detective story, but all of the villains that are featured in the saga. Plus, this is a fantastic Harvey Dent turning into Two-Face transformation origin story. It's so great. So if you're looking for a good Two-Face story, definitely read The Long Halloween. But all of the things that makes The Long Halloween such a fantastic Bat story are all elements within the new plot details and even what Robert Pattinson was saying in his interview with Variety. If you haven't heard, it's already been reported like a year ago that Reeves Batman solo movie is based off of 1990s Batman detective comics and has a very noir feel, which I like all of those things. And of course, The Long Halloween is a fantastic Batman detective story. And of course, it was published in the late 1990s. It has also been reported for quite some time that Reeves wanted a younger Caped Crusader for the film, which is why it was already really obvious that Ben Affleck wasn't going to be in Matt Reeves' film for the longest, no matter how many people want to deny it. And in The Long Halloween, this is a younger Batman that we're dealing with. It isn't the very seasoned, been here for 20-30 years. It's within his early years. When the description says it dives deep into the dark world of the Gotham Underground, that could also be the explanation for Carmine Falcone's underground crime organization within Gotham City. When it says people dying in strange ways, could of course point to the deaths that are seen in Long Halloween, because each person is left with a little trinket that represents each of the holidays that they were killed on. So that is a very interesting way to die, and it's on a holiday. So it's starting to add up for me. Maybe it's not for you, but I don't know, man. And the details said that all of Gotham's rogues gallery are active and out there within Gotham City, and they're all suspects, which is the same thing within The Long Halloween. You literally see almost all of Batman's rogues gallery. They're all their respected villains, have been around for a bit, besides Harvey Dent, who transforms into Two-Face within this story. And just adding a little tidbit to the villains part, we also know that there are going to be at least 4 primary villains within the Batman, and 2 confirmed ones are the Penguin and Catwoman. I believe there are other confirmed ones as well, but I just know for a fact that Penguin and Catwoman are the 2 that media outlets and other sources are focusing on. And another bonus within the bonus, it is said that Reeves is looking for a woman of color to portray Catwoman. Now, of course, this is the first time we've seen a woman of color be Catwoman or even voice Catwoman, and yet people are still freaking out. Get over it. I'm not going to go on a tangent about just representation in media and how that's important and things like that, because that's not what this video is about, but these are just the different things that we have learned from different sources. So it's slowly building into something. And honestly, all of the details and everything points to The Long Halloween for me, especially since Catwoman's going to be a main figure, and Catwoman and Batman's relationship is really studied within this Jeph Loeb story. Because Batman has major trust issues, so he can never really get his ish together to be with Catwoman, of course, as usual. So the new development that actually made me remember to sit down and film this video real quick is actually thanks to Kevin Smith, who just the other day on his Fat Man Beyond podcast was sitting with his co-host, and he was talking about Matt Reeves the Batman and how he heard that The Long Halloween is going to be adapted into this movie. And Kevin Smith replied to the effect of, "To be fair, I heard it too, and I heard it from a good source." Now, I'm not saying that everything Kevin Smith says is just Bible and you should just believe it, but Kevin Smith is well known within the industry, and really he has no reason to lie. So if he did hear that The Long Halloween is probably going to be the comic that is adapted for the movie, I would seriously take that into consideration and put in the why this comic is it. But there are other Batman comics that do have similar elements to the plot details that could possibly be the comic or comics that are adapted into this movie. Now, one is another Jeph Loeb story, which is the early 2000s 12-issue arc Batman Hush, which was illustrated by Jim Lee. And that is another 1 Minute Bat history that I did do on Batman Hush. It's actually one of my favorite 1 Minute Bat histories, so I'll throw that in the description below if you want to check out what that story is all about. You may or may not know, but Batman Hush has already been adapted into a DC Comics animated film and was just released this summer. But it has never been on the live action big screen. And that is one of the best modern stories that features pretty much everyone in Batman's Rogues Gallery. So that could be a really great source for a film that's going to have multiple villains as its primary focus. Then there's the Scott Snyder and Kyle Higgins story, Batman Gates of Gotham, which focuses on Bruce Wayne's ancestry and the Wayne family's involvement within the building of Gotham City, which ties greatly into the aspect of the mystery connected to Gotham City's history that was said in the details. I can totally see if Gates of Gotham would be used as part of the storyline or the major part, and it hasn't been adapted into really anything. So I would love to see that either on the big screen or even in an animated film. And going off of Gates of Gotham, there is also Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's arc Court of Owls. See, I have a little owl right here. It was a gift from Warner Brothers when they were promoting the TV series Gotham that I got. So he's always back there just chilling. But speaking of Gotham, that is where the Court of Owls, at least in live action, has been seen. And of course, the Court of Owls has been featured in animation. But that story also talks about Bruce Wayne and his family's connection to Gotham's history, while the Batman is trying to stop Talon and his Court of Owls, which is practically an urban legend or a borderline conspiracy theory within Gotham's own mythology. And I also did a 1 Minute Bat history on Batman Court of Owls, so once again, I'm going to put it in the description. That's the last time I'm going to be saying that, besides my outro. But yes, check that out if you want to learn more about the Court of Owls. But even though all of those stories are great contenders and can fall into the details of Matt Reeves the Batman, I would bet money that I don't have that The Long Halloween is the story that we're going to see on the big screen, and I am fine with that. I love The Long Halloween. I have said this in other videos. It is one of my favorite stories to reread. It's about time for me to reread it again, especially since Halloween is coming up. So it's a great story. Check it out if you haven't read it, especially if this movie, which is hitting theaters June 25th, 2021, is going to be used. You're going to want to read it before you go see the movie. I'm just saying. But no matter if The Long Halloween is being used or another Batman story, I'm just excited we're getting a new Batman solo film. And I'm excited to see what Robert Pattinson is going to do. I know other people are very skeptical for their own personal reasons, which is totally fine. But I am always optimistic when it comes to a new person being Batman and a Batman film. I'm just glad we're getting this content, period. And when we do get more updates about the Batsuit and the Batmobile and all of those things, and more information about Robert Pattinson's role as a Batman in this film, I will be discussing it all on this channel. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video about a little update on the plot details of the Batman and how it's basically going to be an adaptation of The Long Halloween. I am stoked for that. If you enjoyed this video, please give a bat thumbs up. As always, all of my social media is linked in the description below, including Instagram at History of the Batman. So why don't you give it a follow and become a Gothamite? Check out my videos for DC Comics DC Fans channel. Check out my Beyond the Batcave column for Comicosity. And of course, please subscribe to this channel so you can become part of this Batman community. It would mean so much to me. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm so sorry. People have been asking me if I'm going to New York Comic Con next month. I am not. I am really planning to go next year. I'm actually planning like right now for next year. But I will be attending the con that's literally the week after, and that is Los Angeles Comic Con, which will be at the LA Convention Center between October 11th through October 13th. And I will be doing some very fun things there. I can't announce them yet, but I think within a week or so, everything is going to come out and I can tell you guys about it. But if you are thinking of going, or you are going to buy tickets and you haven't yet, I have a discount code, and it is right here. It has to be all one word and capped just like this for the discount to be effective. And if you put in History of the Batman, my discount code, you get 12% off of your purchase of your ticket. So that is an awesome deal. I love any type of discount because I'm broke and cheap. So I would say use my code if you were coming to the con, and I would love to see you there because I love going to cons and meeting some of you guys, just walking around the convention center. It's always so fun. And like I said, I'm doing really fun things this year, which I will be able to tell you soon. So yes, if you're going, use my discount code. Save some money. So you can put that money towards buying stuff at the con. It's going to be a blast. It always is. So yeah, I hope to see you at LA Comic Con. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will have more History of the Batman soon, right here on YouTube. Remember, Gothamites, all about peace, love, and Batman. Bye.